Try any idea that feels worth understanding. Many people say they feel stuck. They say, I don't know what to do. I have too many ideas. I'm afraid to pick the wrong one. But the truth is, you are not stuck because you lack options. You are stuck because you are waiting for certainty before you begin. And certainty, my friend, is not what precedes progress, it is what follows from it. So, all human progress, every discovery, every piece of wealth ever created, emerges from a simple loop: conjecture and criticism. Conjecture means you make a bold guess about how the world might work, and criticism means you test that guess against reality. That's it. That's the whole engine of knowledge. So, when you say, I don't know which thing to try, the right answer is try any idea that feels worth understanding. Because you cannot know which one will work. You can only guess and then learn from what the world tells you. Every atom is a conversation with reality. You speak, there's a conjecture. That's a conjecture. Reality replies. That's criticism. Think of it like this: a scientist doesn't wait for certainty before running an experiment. An entrepreneur doesn't wait for the perfect data before launching a product. A creator doesn't wait for approval before sharing their work. They all begin with a guess and let the world correct them. That correction is the education. So if you're afraid to start, remember, you cannot steer a ship that isn't moving. Once it's in motion, even slightly, you can adjust course, feel the wind, learn the sea. But if you wait at the shore for the right wave, you will never sail. So movement, not certainty, is what gives you clarity. Now, here's how you apply this in life. And yes, in making money too. Every idea you test is a conjecture. Every market response, every failure, every success is criticism. Wealth is simply the residue of good explanations. It's what happens when your understanding of reality becomes useful to others. The faster you run this loop, conjecture, criticism, refinement, the faster you learn what truly works. That is how knowledge turns into wealth. So don't chase the perfect plan, chase understanding. Start small, keep your experiments reversible, detach your ego from outcomes, and measure success not by what you earned, but by what you learned. Because the real asset is not money, it's explanatory power. So if you feel lost, do this: form a conjecture, act on it, observe what reality tells you, criticize the result, and improve your explanation. Then repeat. That's how you evolve. That's how civilization evolve. That's how knowledge and wealth are created. Don't wait for the right answer. Create a better one. Because the only way out of being stuck is to begin the conversation with reality. That's how you unstick yourself. That's how you grow. When I say try any idea that feels worth understanding, I'm pointing at a subtle shift in why you act. Most people choose actions by asking which one will succeed. But success is unknowable in advance. You can't predict which idea will work. Because if you could, you'd already know the explanation of how reality behaves. And if you already knew that, there'd be nothing new to discover. So choosing based on what will work is trying to skip the process of knowledge creation. It's fear disguised as logic. Instead, you ask which idea feels worth understanding. That question moves you from ego to curiosity. You're no longer acting to win, you're acting to learn. You're saying, even if this fails, I'll discover something about the world, about myself, or about people truly value. And that makes the experiment worth doing. Let's make it real. Suppose you have three ideas. Let's say start a small AI automation service, write a blog on your learning journey, create short videos explaining complex ideas simply. You don't know which one will work, but perhaps deep down, one of them feels worth understanding. Something about it makes you curious. Not because it promises money, but because it reveals something you want to explain better. That feeling is your mind signal that there is hidden knowledge here. Follow that. Because curiosity is your sense for where new explanations are waiting to be discovered. When you act on curiosity, you are not gambling. You are doing epistemology, the act of discovering how reality behaves through testable ideas. That's the scientific method, but applied to life itself. And that's what David Deutsch means when he says knowledge is created by conjecture and criticism. You guess what might be true, that's conjecture. You test it in reality, that's criticism. And through this, you get closer to truth and sometimes to wealth. So when I say try any idea that feels worth understanding, I'm not saying act randomly. I'm saying follow the trail of your curiosity, not the illusion of certainty. Because curiosity is how reality calls you toward unexpected truth. Certainty is how the mind hides from it. If this episode sparked something in you, go test it in the real world. That's where the truth always hides.